I'm finally back. I bet it's been a difficult few months not being able to watch T-Star Donuts' quality content. I'm deeply sorry to have ruined your life with my absence. But today your strife is no more, because I'm here to rank the 10 best areas in the Soulsborne series. A quick note that I won't be including hub areas in this video, since we all know Firelink and Medulla would just top the list by default. I might rank all of them in a separate video though. Lastly, this video is entirely objective, and if you disagree, you're obviously just incorrect, and you should probably make like Marvelous Chester and move to another dimension. We'll all be better for it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Please keep watching the video. I love you. Bloodborne's DLC gave us a couple of really solid areas, and the fishing hamlet ultimately came out on top. It's a level with two very distinct segments, the village and the caves leading down to Orphan of Kos. I definitely prefer the external section, having some pretty good enemy designs and solid progression all around. The hunter invasion by the cliffs is a little annoying, but it doesn't do much to bring the level down. I do wish the fishing hamlet had a few more branching paths, or some more interesting level layouts, since, despite having plenty of shortcuts to unlock, it's incredibly linear, with the bulk of the paths being traversed en route to the final boss. Orphan does serve as an excellent conclusion to the zone, and I'm happy to declare it worthy of a spot in my competitive top 10 areas in Souls. I expect Lothric Castle is likely to be the most unexpected entry on this list, but I truly think it's one of the best areas in the series. It has a great atmosphere, brings the player back to the High Wall of Lothric for the phenomenal fight with Dancer, and leads them into an excellent area before the climax of the game. I love that for exceptionally skilled players, it can be accessed early should they defeat the Dancer, allowing for an entirely unique path of progression. It also connects to the Consume King's Garden, which frankly is a much worse area, with a pretty bad boss at the end, but at least it gives some variety to the player's freedom of approach. The castle itself has some really strong level design. The entire segment with the Dragon Gate is great and has some creative layouts, and is capped off by an encounter with the Dragon Slayer armor, a very strong boss. But off the main story route, there's plenty of hidden secrets to find and items to unlock, which encourages exploration far more than most of Dark Souls 3's relatively linear areas. As such, Lothric Castle just about creeps its way into my top 10 areas in Soulsborne. Irophil is commonly regarded as the best area in Dark Souls 3, which, honestly, I have to agree with. It comes after a slog of pretty bad areas filled with nothing but grey and brown, and finally introduces a much needed splash of visual flair to the game. This accentuates some pretty great level design, with plenty of hidden secrets to find and a lot of branching paths. There's the route from the Church of Yorshka down to Irophil Dungeon, the path through the kitchen basement and up the stairs to Pontiff's boss room, and back down to unlock the shortcut. It finishes with the amazing climax of the mid-game, Pontiff. Irophil is a little short, not quite as expansive as many other levels on the list, but everything here is exactly what it needs to be to provide an excellent experience every time. It just doesn't quite hold up on replay as much as the higher ranking levels. One of the most visually astonishing levels I've seen in a video game. Fountainhead Palace thankfully backs it up with pretty great level design as well. Some of the enemies are unfortunately not great. I think the one room with a bunch of Mist Nobles is a little annoying, and executes on Sekiro's stealth mechanics a little bit weaker than other parts of the game. The mini-bosses also aren't great unfortunately. The Sakura Bull is a reuse of the not so great Blazing Bull, and Okami leader Shizu being a joke rivaling the Mist Noble. Thankfully, my gripes end there. The layout of the level is pretty great, the pacing is similarly so, beginning with an incredibly underrated fight with the corrupted monk. It has a good deal of the verticality I love in these levels, and the segment with the carp is a much better stealth section than the one earlier in the level. Fountainhead earns this spot thanks to its jaw-dropping visuals and solid level design culminating in the spectacle of the Divine Dragon. Stormvale is yet another beloved FromSoft level thanks to the vastness of what at first seems like a pretty small dungeon. The main path isn't anything all that special, but it is mostly packed with well designed enemies and some solid structure. The real draw to this level is the sheer amount of varying routes. There's plenty of different ways to reach the boss room, each having a unique set of challenges. On top of that, there's a massive segment of the level that's completely optional, taking you down to Godwyn's corpse. Unfortunately, it does conclude with a fight against the Ulster ulcerated tree spirit, but at least it's optional. That brings me to the two main bosses of Stormvale, Margit and Godric. Margit is an incredible introductory boss, probably second only to Gascoigne for me, and Godric is also a very underrated fight. All in all, Stormvale is one of the most expansive dungeons in the Souls series, and certainly one of the best, but god damn do I hate the Stormhawks, those guys suck. Leyndell is typically people's number one pick, though I don't quite have it that high. Regardless, Leyndell is certainly deserving of being on this list. It's one of the most expansive areas in the series and embodies the classic open world sentiment of if you can see it, you can go to it. You really can access every nook and cranny of the royal capital. The issue is that not every part of the city really has things worth exploring for. There's a fairly expansive section of the city which holds nothing to see apart from the 30th encounter with an ulcerated tree spirit, but the fact you have so many potential ways to approach the level and can go to every corner of it makes it a well designed level nonetheless, packed with for the most part great enemies and having one of Elden Ring's best bosses, Morgott. There's also the return to the Ashen Capital, but I find that one to be a little bit underwhelming, and I don't like Kerno King nearly as much as most people seem to. Despite my criticisms, being in the top 5 of FromSoft's areas is an undeniably incredible feat. Shadow of the Erdtree gave us a few new legacy dungeons, the best of which is certainly the Shadow Keep. Capped off with Elden Ring's greatest boss in Messmer, it really is the high point of the game. It's split into two sections, the main keep and the storehouse. While I absolutely prefer the castle portion, the storehouse is still a well designed vertical level. I just wish the shortcut didn't cut off access to parts of the area. My favourite aspect of the Shadow Keep is how it connects to the rest of the world. It's the centre point of the Lands of Shadow, with the main gate being accessed from the road following Castellensis, and a pretty expansive flooded section being accessed from the upper part of Scadu Altus. A fight with Gaius leading to the honestly a little underwhelming hinterlands, but the Shadow Keep really has everything you want in a level. An excellent layout and progression, great enemy variety and placement, an incredible atmosphere, and plenty of connections to the world leading to a host of branching paths. Unfortunately, the Shadow Keep just barely misses out on a spot in the top 3. The Undead Burg is one of the most memorable areas in the series, being one of its most iconic introductory levels. Directly connected to Firelink Shrine, the run across the bridge and up to the main part of the level will absolutely pose a challenge to first time players. The level beyond that is built around the sturdy philosophy FromSoft's games rely on, giving the player enemies that are easy to deal with alone, but if allowed to group up can become deadly. The structure of the level is great, with connections to the lower Undead Burg and Undead Parish at multiple points. I'm especially fond of the shortcut from the main bonfire to the Drake Bridge. It's paths like these that highlight the strengths of Dark Souls 1's world building. It's just a shame none of those strengths remain in the second half of the game, but Undead Burg is absolutely a worthy contender for the top 3 levels in Soulsborne. Ashna Castle is a level which everyone loves, but I don't think many would have expected it to receive the silver medal for FromSoft area quality. Just like all the locations on this list, it's visually striking and portrays the ideal atmosphere and tone for that point of the game. I love the verticality of the level as you ascend the snowy castle, taking on one of the game's better mini-bosses in Ashna Elite Jinsuke Saze, before finally reaching one of my top 20 bosses in Souls, the legendary King of Skill Checks Genichiro Ashna. It's a perfect indicator of the kind of game Sekiro is. There's no easy way to victory, you have to master the mechanics or you won't proceed. Ashna Castle also has the added benefit of a revisit, which lets you return to the previous level in a completely new light, admittedly with a much lesser boss than Genichiro and Shinobi Owl to cap it off. Ashna Castle is definitely one of FromSoft's greatest levels and deserves to be in anybody's top 10. This shouldn't really be a surprising pick, but I think Central Yharnam is the best area in the Souls series. It has all the qualities you want, incredible interconnectivity, branching paths, player freedom, as well as establishing the setting and narrative themes of the game. It's essentially split into two distinct segments, the town section, headlined by the Cleric Beast, and the sewer segment, which culminates in the chilling battle with Father Gascoigne. The area is even better thanks to having one pretty good tutorial boss, and another fantastic introductory boss, my favourite in the series. The layout of the city is great, the atmosphere is exactly what it needed to be, and all the enemies are great. The werewolves are probably a little overtuned for the first area of the game, but I don't mind having some tough foes to instill a sense of caution in the player. Every box for what makes a great area is ticked here, making Central Yharnam my pick for the best area in Souls. And that's the list. Obviously we're bound to disagree somewhere, and that's absolutely fine. I welcome differing opinions in the comments below, as long as you keep it respectful as always. Once again, I'm sorry for the long hiatus, but I'm back now, and hopefully the quality of videos on this channel will continue to get better. If you'd like to support this, then please like and subscribe. I know it's boring, but evidence shows that if you don't say it, people don't do it, so I feel I have to make your ears bleed with that solemn plea. Thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you next time.